Happy Friday, everybody. It's Dr. Bridget Young from babyformulaexpert.com here for Happy Hour. And this is truly a happy hour. Last week was such a hot mess disaster. I decided this week we're just going to do something fun. So the boys are here. And then if everything goes to the pits, there'll be no great intellectual capacity lost. So today, I'm going to give you just a little background about me. I come on and talk about formula and infant feeding every week, and I thought, oh, well, nobody ever actually reads about me pages on a website, so I'm going to give you a little background about me, but also try to keep it lighthearted and let you know, I don't know, if there's that much fun about me, but a little more personal stuff about me and my family, since I actually do get those questions sometimes, and I think it's so touching. So here, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start off with the nerdy stuff, like the professional stuff you'd want to know if you were considering working with me, and that'll give you guys time. If there's anything you want to know about me or my family, you can pop it into the comments, and then I'll get to some of that stuff and the kind of more fun stuff at the end, and this won't be that long. Boys are under the table. So, because I have 2 toddlers and, you know, we have a 5-minute attention span. So, okay, let's get started. So I said I'll start off with me professionally. So I'll start off with my school, where I went to school. I have my undergrad in molecular biology from Colgate University. Go Gate! I grew up in Rochester, New York, so Colgate is not that far away, easily drivable. So yep, have my bachelor's, graduated magna cum laude. I am a first class nerd. Wear it proudly. At some point, you really got to embrace it. So I left Colgate and moved to Cleveland, where I worked as a lab tech in a research lab at the Clinic, which was a fantastic place to work. And I probably learned more there than I learned in any job, well, maybe not any job, but any official schooling. And I worked in, it was a very basic science research lab. I was extracting neurons from rats. We did some immortal cell lines. I won't go into all the nitty-gritty details, but needless to say, it was very intense. And when you see those like biosafety movies on TV, I'm the person who's like, well, that's just unrealistic because X, Y, Z, if I want to show off. But I love this movie, so I try to keep it to myself. Okay, after that, I decided to go back to graduate school, moved back to New York, and I have my PhD from Cornell University. My official degree is technically in human nutrition. However, I always say my PhD is in perinatal nutrition because all of my training expertise, even in grad school, and beyond, has been working with pregnant women and infants. So I kind of wash my hands of babies after the age of about 2 professionally. So like my biggest nightmare is that I'll say I have a PhD in nutrition and someone will be like, what's the best nutritional diet for prostate cancer? And I'm going to be like, I literally have 0 clue. However, I know everything there is to know about pregnancy and infant nutrition. So that's why I throw the perinatal in there, so that nobody takes me out of my comfort zone into men at all, or adult nutrition, again, over the pediatric range. So, did my PhD, managed to crank it out in 4 years, which I would not do again. I would take a little longer. And then, hopped on a bus all the way across the country to Colorado, where I did my postdoctoral fellowship training in pediatric nutrition. So that was just really, really solidifying my expertise, and I had the amazing pleasure of working with really some of the best known experts literally in the entire world in the early infant feeding realm. And so I just have been so blessed to have the most amazing mentors and training, and it's really helped put me to where I am today. So that brings us up to date, where just recently, you guys know, I moved back across the country to the Rochester, New York area, where I now live with my family. I still have a lot of family here. And so this is where I am with my family, working on the website and still doing research. I'll take a pause, have a little sip. I'll tell you 2 seconds about my research. I do clinical research, so I work with actual babies, which is the best part of my job, because if you work in a hospital or in research at all, it can get a little dull, and there's nothing better than, you know, getting to see babies on a daily basis. So I do research with breastfeeding mamas, and I study how maternal metabolic abnormalities, particularly obesity, type 2 diabetes, and more minor types of diabetes affect mom's lactation, her breast milk composition, and how those subtle changes might affect how the baby develops and grows during those first critical couple months. And I've really been focusing lately on insulin in breast milk and how that has a positive impact on infant development and also infant health trajectories as the baby grows. And given all of my work with families with formula, I've also started to do some more academic research into formula, particularly looking at different carbohydrate blends and composition in formula and how those may affect how the baby metabolizes their food and the different types of metabolic demand different fuels will place on different baby organs, again, in those first couple months before solid food. So that has just been a blast. And again, the theme is I'm a huge nerd, so I really love my job. And then the other part of my job is this, which is just mine, this website, and being able to work with moms like you and putting out excellent, unbiased information, both for parents and healthcare providers, which is really hard to come by in the U.S. So we'll do one more cheers. I told myself I have like the little bullets to talk about that I can have one sip in between. I just opened this. It's a cider. It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so that brings me up to baby formula expert. How this whole thing got started. It has been kind of a whirlwind journey, and this is how it happened. So as part of my research, I'm also a certified lactation counselor. I went through that training as a means of being able to help women who participated in my research studies, which is all with breastfeeding women, to be able to provide them that extra support if they were having any issues. And also just be able to provide that as a service to sort of give back to the breastfeeding community in general, since if you ask people to participate in your research, I feel like you need to try to give back in that arena. So ironically, through that, I formed this website about formula. Here's why. The number one question I got asked, to be honest, was, I need to supplement. What formula do you recommend? What, Vaughn? I'm always listening for her. Need to go potty. Do you need to go potty? Okay. I was able to provide wonderful, and still am, breastfeeding support to gentlemen. Hold on. Guys, you need to share. Can you come with me, baby? No. Then you need to be kind and work together. Let's just hope this goes. Maybe I should talk faster. So one of the most common questions I got as a lactation counselor for women participating in my studies, or just that I worked with, was I need to supplement, for the very many number of reasons that supplementation occurs. What is your recommendation on formula? And ages ago, I didn't have one. I had the same training, more in nutrition than doctors, but it's just not taught. And so I took it upon myself to start researching formula ingredients so that I would have something to say. This is years and years ago, and that was the birth of this website. So the very first mommy I worked with formula, her name is Leah, and I think about her all the time, and I did a bunch of research on her behalf. She had a sample from her doctor, so it started there. And to try to summarize it, we went back and forth. I was sending these really long emails, and eventually I ended up putting up a skeleton website with just basically some of the bare bones information that's on my site, because I kept getting the same question all the time, and it's a really long answer. Like, as you know, I don't have just one, like, this is the best formula, all the others are terrible. It really is dependent on the baby, so it's the parents know their baby's best, and they just need the information to equip them to make an individualized decision. So I kept getting the same question so much that I thought it would take less of my time to put up a resource to refer parents to. And it kind of grew one mom at a time from there. Oh my gosh, do you hear that? Peter Young! That type of language is not allowed. Listen, you guys, you may not scream like that. Vaughn, you need to be more kind. Okay, we're going to have to move this more quickly, and I may have to change the time of happy hour to after bed. You may. Here you go. Anyway, so basically it grew from there, and moms referred their friends, people heard about it, and so I, started getting a little bit of traffic, and I was like, well, I should probably make this look nicer than it is. And it just kind of spiraled from there. And then I started offering consulting services because people were asking me to do it. And because I've got 2 babies of my own, and so if something's going to take me away from, do you want to say hi, baby? From my kiddos, then I'm not ashamed to say it, then I need to be compensated for it, because otherwise I would rather be with them. So that is how Baby Formula Expert got started, and I'm really excited for some things we've got in the future, some more affordable ways to interact with me, and also I've started doing some more professional education, which is really where my heart lies, because I feel like that's how we can help the most babies, is by educating the professionals who interact with them daily and can bill insurance. So that's the nerd stuff. That's how Baby Formula Expert was born. That's like a tiny tidbit about where we're headed. And now I wrote down, I was like, oh, what should I talk about personally? Well, I got a husband and I got kids, and that's like my whole life these days. So I was like, oh, perfect. Let's do that. So I'll tell you 2 seconds about my husband. He's a very private guy, so I won't tell you too much about him. His name is Dave. He is super cute, so vixens, stay away. I'm super obsessed with him. Don't tell him, but I have a huge crush on him. And we live here in Rochester together. He is an electrical engineer, so we have like the nerd power squared in this house. He is the total opposite of me, so I feel like if you feel like you know my personality, you know his. It's the polar opposite. He's very stable. He never raises his voice. Sometimes I wonder if he feels emotion, which is fine, because I feel enough emotion for both of us. So I tell him. Anyway, so he's just amazing and so supportive and the love of my life, and I wouldn't be anywhere without him. So that's Dave. Check. Now I get to have another sip of this. And then my kids. You guys have seen my kids every week. I am wholly, utterly, and 100% obsessed with them, and they utterly also drive me crazy sometimes. I have 2 boys. You just saw PD is 3. PD is my sensitive engineer. And then I have Vaughn, who is 2 now, and Vaughn is my rambunctious bull. He is throwing me for a loop, this little one. Sure. Would you like a cracker? I'm like straight up bribing them with crackers to get through this.
Thanks.
1 is plenty. What do you say?
Okay.
You're welcome. So, oh yeah, Vaughn has thrown me through a loop. They are 6. This is a question I get all the time now. No, they are not twins. They are 16 months apart. It feels like twins sometimes, unless you have twins and then you're like laughing in my face. Yes, I don't know how you did it. They're very close in age. Vaughn was a surprise angel from heaven. I always wanted more than 1 child. I did not plan to have them that close together, but what's done is done. It was meant for the best. Since I talk about infant feeding all the time and moms always want to ask each other, I will tell you how they were fed. I was very blessed to have copious amounts of breast milk, which comes with some of its own problems. If you have an oversupply, you know what those are. But I did end up supplementing both of them with formula. So PD, I got pregnant when he was only 7 months old, and my supply tanked immediately. So he got formula pretty much as soon as I got pregnant, and then I weaned him at 15 months, about 2 months before Vaughn was born. Vaughn, very similar story. I mean, I'm not pregnant. whoa, mom, I'm not pregnant. But we had a much easier time breastfeeding in the beginning. It's usually easier with your second. And then I started supplementing with formula around 8 months when, like, God help you, the pump is like you're just done with it. And I couldn't keep up anyway. So would you like another one? You want to come here and say hi? Hi, Emily. And Vaughn, also, God help us, we are still breastfeeding. We just nurse at night. I have no idea how we're going to stop. Yes, I am a lactation counselor. I should know this, but at this point, it's just lazy parenting. He just goes down so easy. So I'm really just going to have to bite the bullet and do it at some point soon. But that is our story right now. I love how I have also told women, like, your baby will be ready at some point. You can just wait for their cues. Vaughn will never be ready. When they're like, oh, you've never heard of a college kid nursing? I swear, it would be him. So at some point, I'm going to have to cut him off of milk at night. It's not going to be tonight. So that's it for my two boys. They are adorable and everything to me. They share a room, which is amazing. And you guys see them all the time. And I'm going to move on to something else because our, 5-minute attention span is literally probably about to be over. So here are some fun facts about me. I looked up some corny icebreakers and have other questions that some moms have asked me. First, please note that I do have painted nails. I had a New Year's resolution to paint my nails at least 6 times this year. I can't believe that you guys are so into this. Oh, how would you ask me politely? I would like to hear the whole thing.
Can I have another crackle, please, Mommy?
Yes, you may. Because I love painting my nails, and I have painted my nails like twice since my kids were born. So I was like, oh, enough is enough. So I've painted nails now. I'm still rocking the flare nail, even though I think it's probably gone out of style. But it's a way to use 2 colors at once. So I'm going to rock it as long as humanly possible. What else? I'm gluten-free, which is really not that bad. I got a health issue. It helps a lot. There's that. Another small thing about myself. Oh, here's something that you probably don't want to know. But we're in New York right now. We're having, some polar vortex. So I've had a good span of time where I've had a few professional obligations. So I got to be home with the kids a lot. So I'm trying to transition to natural deodorant. It is not going well. I'm going to have some meetings next week, and I think the whole thing's going to be for naught. I really want to be this hippie mommy who, doesn't use any chemicals in anything, but this one might get me. I think I might have to get back on the bandwagon before I have to leave the house, which is soon. So there's that. Okay, what else? So here are some fun facts from icebreakers. My favorite color is blue and gray. We just moved into a new house. Hey, baby.
More crackle, please.
You may have to listen. One more. And everything is now done in blue and gray. So, yeah, PD's here. So I'm going to need to get a hold of an interior decorator or something because I have zero inspiration in that department of any kind. It's starting to look very monotone. Hobbies. I have no hobbies. I have a website and 2 children. Next. Okay, well, kind of a hobby. I love baking. I hate cooking, but I love to bake, and I still really enjoy that. And I've just gotten back into Pilates. Before I had kids, I was a workout-aholic and had a banging body. Now, meh. Yeah, I work out when I can, here and there. But I've really been enjoying Pilates late. And my body is none of your business. Oh, and brewing beer. My husband and I brew beer. We don't do it as much as we used to, but we still have the setup, and I really, really like doing that. And I can have my own beer, the whole being gluten-free thing. So I'm very motivated. Next, what is the last movie you saw? I just saw Star Wars, and it was amazing. I had, full disclosure, had the taste of, the movie taste of a 12-year-old boy. So I don't know if you should take my recommendation seriously, but it was incredible, and I really loved it. And my 2 favorite movies are Gladiator and Pitch Perfect. So take that as it is. I told you I have terrible taste. Yes, honey. Last one. This is your last one, Petey. No, I see you coming over. You already had your last one. We're having dinner very soon. We're having dinner very soon, everyone. No more crackers. Okay. Oh, my birth order. I am the second of 4 kids. I have an older brother and 2 younger sisters. Hi, Allie. We're all very close. probably way too close. We know way too much about each other's business and have to talk on the phone way too much. It's awesome. I love it. But, you know, any small thing goes wrong in your life and it's everyone's business right away. I come from kind of a traditional Irish family and we hold up to every terrible stereotype. So, next, the last book I read. To be clear, I've given up reading. I listen to a lot of books on tape and then say that I read them so I sound well cultured. There's that. But the last book I read was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and it was amazing. If you haven't read it, you should definitely listen to it. I'll leave it at that. Universal. Everybody should listen to it. It's really funny. Next, what's one food, if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, what would it be? Well, as a PhD in nutrition, it would definitely be cheesecake. And not the like buffet line light whipped cheesecake. I'm talking cheesecake that like weighs 2 pounds a slice, full fat cream cheese. I have the most amazing recipe. I can't make it very often out of true guilt that it will kill everyone that I feed it to, but it is incredible. And if I could only eat one food, that's what I would eat for the rest of my life. If there's one place, I only have 2 more and then I'll go and have a, I have a very low tolerance, and I feel this already, which is probably why I'm talking so fast. What is the one place in the world I would go to, or my perfect vacation? It's probably impossible. I would definitely go to New Zealand for the hiking. However, I would definitely want there to be some kind of luxurious sleeping arrangements every night and a chef. So some kind of combination of incredible hiking and scenery with very little effort employed. My husband and I used to do these pretty badass hiking trips that I still like to talk about even though we haven't done them in a long time. But yeah, carrying like a 40-pound pack just has no draw for me anymore. As mentioned previously with the loss of interest in exercise. So luxurious sleeping, but still just walking with like, you know, a day pack with some cheese and crackers in it sounds amazing. Okay, last, my 3 most used Pandora stations are, in no particular order, the piano guys, which if you haven't tried them on Pandora, they do, it's not classical, it's just piano, but renditions of popular songs, but it's just instrumental. So we do that when it's getting a little too energetic in this house and we need to calm down. And then also the Mumford Sons and Taylor Swift. Yes, I'm a 33-year-old woman with 2 children. Don't judge me. Tay-Tay is amazing. At any age, she's truly timeless. With that, I'm going to leave you. So thank you guys so much for joining. Next week, we'll get back to an actually serious topic, but I was still burned out from the fiasco of last week, and I'm so glad. We talked about European formulas. I did eventually get it in, but the kids really gave me a run for my money. So, oh, thank you. So the content I put out was amazing, but I was so exhausted by the time it happened that I just couldn't get it together to put together a research topic for this evening, but I will for next week. So if there's anything else you want to know about me or my kids, let me know. We're not that interesting. Well, I should probably wrap it up, I suppose. Guys. Yeah, I'm just going to sign off because I'm going to have to deal with that. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.